now joined by the UK's number one heavyweight, Phil DeFries. Phil's coming off a big win after fighting in Japan on New Year's Eve against Strikeforce veteran Brett Rogers. Phil, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the fight then. Of course, you were fighting it in Japan. What was it like fighting in Japan?
I tell you what, it was fantastic. If I had my way, I would only ever fight in Japan. The promotion treated me so well. The country's fantastic, and the fans are just the best fans ever. They're so keen. They're so into it. It was a fantastic experience.
What was it like as well facing Brett Rogers, of course, because he's known for his aggressive style. He's known for his striking. I mean, we've seen him with some big knockout victories. I think he's famous for his knockout victory, of course, over Andrei Arlovski, former UFC champion. So, what was it like facing Brett?
Like everyone talks about the punch power, but everybody in this division punches hard. It's I mean, I'll fight anybody in the planet, as long as I get paid. So it was good, but obviously it's something to be wary about. But I always thought I could break Brett. I always thought I could.
I mean, you come out in the fight as well. You were very aggressive. I mean, I think everyone thought he would be the more aggressive in the clinch, with obviously your strength being the ground game. But you come out and you were very aggressive in the clinch, and you kind of took over in the clinch. Was that part of your game plan?
Yeah, it was just to get on him. A lot of the time I'm a big worry in fights, but now that's just like it's going to be a new me now. I don't care. I don't want to go in there and mix it up. My striking's great. I've mixed it up with some of the best strikers in the world and Alliance MMA and things. And it's just get in your head, and you got to think you're the best everywhere. So I just got him, and I just wanted to beat him, just wanted to break him, get in his face.
And do you, like you say, this is your new me? Do you feel that's something that you could have maybe that you didn't do enough maybe in the UFC against some of the bigger strikers in the UFC?
Yeah, when I was in the UFC, I mean, the guys who fought us might have been better than us, but a lot of those fights, I wasn't myself. I was beat before I got in. You're not going to see that anymore now. Now you're just going to see me going in and throwing down and giving it my all. It's like I don't care about winning or losing. I don't care about getting knocked out anymore. I just want to go and perform.
So overall, then it was a great experience. Obviously, going out there and fighting in Japan.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was great. I quite liked fighting in the ring as well. I thought it was going to be an issue, but it was good.
Was that your first fight in the ring?
Yeah, yeah. First fight ever in a ring. I did a lot of training. I mixed it up. I did my MMA sparring and a boxing ring and such. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was small as well. It was very small ring, and it's smaller than what I thought.
Who were some of the people that you train with? Because I mean, there's such a buzz at the minute up the northeast. There's some great fighters come out of the northeast. I know we've spoke before, and I know you train with James Mulher, and he's doing really well. We've seen the rise of David Grant. We've seen Colin Fletcher's has had a good couple of fights. I know he's coming off a loss, but he's still, he's had a really, good year if you like. So what's the buzz like around the northeast at the minute with the training, and who were some of the people you were training with?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I've been training with James Mulheaven, who's fantastic. A guy called Tommy Quinn, who's I think he's a welterweight, but he's one hell of a spar, even for the big guys. There's a professional boxer who I train with called Danny Hughes. He's great. It hurts to spar with that guy. And just got a great coaching staff around us now, and I can relax. I think I like spending my camps at home. I can really relax and take my mind off things, and just it's just great to be here now. Got some good fighters coming through.
Have you been training with Ian Freeman as well? I think I've seen that you've been training a little bit with Ian.
Oh yes, of course. I want to forget Ian. Yeah, Ian's been coming up. Davin Towler came up for a little bit. It's been good. Lewis Barrow's been doing a bit of like helping with the freshman stuff. I've had a great camp. Ian found me the fight as well. Ian was invaluable actually.
Yeah, because he's got connection. Well, he's going to have connections from, of course, what he's done. I've got a few questions from a few listeners, so I'm going to throw those questions at you because we've touched on some of them already, and I just want to mention those guys and get the questions. Then we'll talk a little bit about what we can expect from you in 2014.
Yeah.
So the first question is actually a professional fighter himself. He's a flyweight. He's based in the Midlands. His name's Chris Meyer, and with what you just said, this is why I wanted to ask this. But he says, how did the opportunity come about to fight in such an event? What was it like to fight in the ring, and what was the crowd like?
Well, it was great. The fight came about. I was meant to be fighting Alexei Olenek in Russia, and that fight fell through because he wanted to fight Crow Cop. So I was kind of left midway through camp with no fight. And Ian at the time got offered a fight, I think, in Japan, and he said he didn't want it for whatever reason, And he said, "Oh, I'll put your name forward." and my name got forward, and Brett Rogers came through, and like I said, Japan was fantastic. It was unbelievable. And like I said, fighting in the ring is it was quite enjoyable. I've got quite good skills at cutting the ring off, and it's pretty hard to cut a cage off. So I think it benefited me more than anything. It was good. What was the other question?
What was the crowd like? You've already
Oh,
touched on
the
this, but
crowd were fantastic. It was unbelievable. Just like they get so into it, but they're so respectful, and like the fans were crazy. They were buying me gifts, drove in portraits of us. It was a fantastic experience.
wow. I mean, the Japanese fans are known for being for being knowledgeable as well with all aspects of the game, whether it be the striking, being the ground. They're also known for liking fighters, win or lose, that just come in and leave everything out there. We've
Yeah.
seen that in the past, of course. So you got a really good reaction from the crowd.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, like I said, I won, and I think it was an entertaining fight for them all as well. And it was great. I met some great guys backstage. I met Fedor, and I met all these great Sefo, Jerome Labana, and everybody. Antonio Inoki. It was just fantastic, the full experience.
What was it like to meet some of them? Because I mean, they're some of the real legends of either the MMA, K1. I mean, they're some real legends of combat sport, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. But before the fight, I kind of like I don't want photos with anybody. I just kind of like be left alone. But after the fight, I'd been seeing them all week, and I was like, I've got to get photos with these guys. What I've been doing, I need to go get these photos. I know Fedor congratulated us on my fight, which meant a lot. With
Yeah.
Drum Labana and Ray Sefo, it was fantastic.
That's some star power there.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
another question for you from Josh Hall, and he says, "Who were your fighting idols when you were starting out?"
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a BJJ guy. I used to like Royce Gracie and things. And truth be told, I don't watch that much MMA on the television. Uh, but guys I respect a lot over the Lions is Gustafsson. 'Cause he's just a killer. And Phil Davis and everybody other guys I sparred with over there. They're just great guys, and real good athletes.
And the final question for you is from Hassan Abdul Jawad, and he said, "Would you like a rematch with Matt Mitrione as the first fight ended with a flash KO?"
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, all the guys who beat me in the UFC. I'm not saying they wouldn't beat us again, but what I'm saying is I beat myself before I fought those guys. Things went right in your head. There's a lot of pressure, and I would have to fight any of the guys. But it might end up the same way. But I would definitely be happier if I could fight with a clear head.
I don't think you get enough credit for what you did in the UFC as well. I mean, you had 5 fights in the UFC, and heavyweight is such a tough division anyway. Because, like you say, it's literally one punch can turn a fight, and you won two against two tough guys, and the 3 guys you lost to are all high tier heavyweights,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah. All top 20 guys. But like I said, my head's right now. I'm gonna perform a lot better than my fights now. I'm gonna do it on my terms, and I fully expect to be back in the UFC in 12 months.
I was going to say, so what are you thinking in 2014 then? You see yourself fully back in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, in a year's time, hopefully, I will be. I think just another impressive win against in a top-notch heavyweight will be good. And at the moment, I'm just getting James ready for his fight with Stav. I mean, James is going to win that fight. James beats Stav. I think he's gonna get assigned to a big show, UFC or Bellator or a big international fight. And I'll probably start a camp straight after James. So hopefully, the one of the guys who helps at the Japan fight. I'll sort
Yeah.
something out. There was a fight for us in Chechnya in like 6 weeks, but I mean, I need a bit of downtime. I want to get James ready, and I need to go. I need to get my head clear again.
So ideally, then, when would you like to be back in cage or ring, of course, fighting?
I don't know. March, June. I don't even know the month. Was it January, February, March? Yeah, March would be good, or June.
Yeah. And James obviously he's fighting against Stav. That's on made for the cage, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's going to be a great fight. I mean, James is fantastic at the minute. He's just so strong and so tough. It's like without having James here, my sparring would be a lot worse. And he's got a head like a pineapple. You just keep punching that thing. It's horrible.
I mean, I've been following him since his fight with Paul Taylor, and he's just going from strength to strength. Every fight, he just looks better and better and better. And
Yeah, I mean, he's
looked fan-
fantastic. He's got a full game as well. He just likes to stand, but his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu are top notch as well. You're going to see a lot more of that.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. He's certainly I think he's probably the one to watch on the UK heavyweight scene. I feel anyway. He's rising up the ranks, isn't he? I think like you say, he's not far off now getting onto an international stage. I don't think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he came to Alliance with me before as well, and everyone was impressed with him there. He's like I said, I think he'll beat Starv and maybe like the number 2 heavyweight in the country. And we'll see where he goes from there.
Yeah, hopefully move on to some at least some European opponents then.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, he's a good draw back home and things, but I think it's time for him to go to the international stage now.
Yeah, definitely. Because if he makes number 2, there's no one else for him to fight on the UK scene really. He needs to go on to the next stage and get some at least big European names, isn't he? There's some great heavyweights on the European scene for him to fight as well, isn't there?
Oh, I know. He's in James is like, I think he's going to shock a lot of people this coming year.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on and having a chat, Phil. It's been I watched the fight with Brett Rogers and it was a great fight. I was looking forward to speaking to you. As soon as I'd seen that fight, I wanted to get on it and chat with you. So thank you for coming on and having a chat.
Thanks for having us, mate. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Before we let you go, I just want to give you a chance to do any shout outs. Want to shout out any friends, family, sponsors, and obviously let people know about your Facebook and your Twitter.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think first and foremost all the team. You know, I've got a great team here, like a very selfless team. When somebody's fighting, it's all about them. It's very very good. It's a good atmosphere, and all my sponsors, Smart Tech Nutrition, who have been with us for a while now. Even when like wasn't allowed to wear the stuff in the UFC, they still backed me. Like they were great. Fight Store MMA, Rev Gear, Jordan Snooker Hall, Smuggling Duds, Trojan Sports, Fitness 2000. I mean, I'll probably be forgetting one there, but I mean they've all been fantastic, and just all my sparring partners and coaches, especially a guy called Davey Hall who does my pad work and my conditioning, and James.
Well, we wish you all the luck. I can't wait to see what 2014 brings. I look forward to seeing you uh, back in the UFC by the end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I've got my goal now. I'm driven, and I'm just gonna do it on my terms. You know, it's gonna be fantastic.
Thank you for listening to this interview. If you would like more up-to-date interviews from the world of MMA, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. These interviews are powered by MMA Mental. You can follow them on Twitter at MMA Mental and like the Facebook page MMAmental.com. YourMMA.tv. The Twitter handle is at YourMMA and the Facebook page is YourMMA. Also UFC Live and MMA Fighting. Please like both pages on Facebook.